Hello, YouTube and their crypto enthusiasts, and welcome to another episode of Equibit Crypto. Today, I really wanted to make a video about how you can make about $50 for free without any investments playing this game called League of Kingdoms. But I feel obligated to bring you some news and to tell you what is going on with Bitcoin in the very short term because I have some great news for everyone, and you won't believe this because it's so crazy that you will be absolutely blown away. First and foremost, remember to go down and hit subscribe, hit bell notification, and ask any questions you want in the comments. I'll answer all of them. But before we go into that, let's take a little bit of a look at Bitcoin and the very short term, what is going on. We have the reversal of the EMA ribbon here. What we need for Bitcoin to do now is to break above this to get the EME ribbon to flip and to give us a buy signal. We might see still a little bit of a downtrend on Bitcoin. What we needed to do is to break this downwards sloping resistance here and to come up here and flip this, and we need something to happen like we saw back here where the EMA ribbon flips and we get a long signal and we can have a massive explosion to the upside. Right now, we're still sort of trying to find out what this Fed or meeting with the tapering, what that is going to mean for crypto and stocks. The stock market closed down 1% on Friday after a little bit of a relief rally. It's still at an all-time high, I believe. It's not right at an all-time high, but it did challenge the all-time high after the Fed meeting. It met a little bit of resistance at the new all-time high, going down for a little bit of a correction on Thursday and Friday. We might find support here and go back up to challenge the all-time high again. I think the market was a little bit uh, too positive to what the Fed was saying. I mean, it wasn't as bad as many had feared, but it was still not really bullish news. So it was a little bit of a nothing burger, but still tapering should really have sent the market a little bit down. Um, but market is kind of behaving in an irrational way, and we are still going to see a little bit of more money coming in at the beginning of the next year, all the way until March. So I do believe that markets might shoot up and set a new all-time high early this year or early next year, and then sort of fall a little bit as we see less and less money being printed by the Fed, and people will eventually start to think that the interest rates will go up in the United States as well as they have done many places in Europe to fight inflation. Now back to Bitcoin, and let's take a look at the supply shock that is currently going on in Bitcoin. And I want to show you all this. The blue line here is how much Bitcoin is on the exchanges. And what we can see is that even though the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges have fallen dramatically, with I think there is a 10% fall from the top up here when we had this huge FUD dip. Um, and until now, 10% less. And it's not like all the Bitcoin on exchanges are for sale. Many people keep their Bitcoin on exchanges to get that dividend, to get that interest on their Bitcoin with all the programs they have on exchanges that allow you to stack and to actually earn some interest on your cryptocurrency or on your Bitcoin in this case. So what we say is going on now is pretty much the same thing we saw over here before the October pump. So we saw in August we set a new high for, or not a new high, but there was more exchanges, more Bitcoin flowing into the exchanges than flowing out, and then we saw a dip in the price. But we also saw the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges drop dramatically. And what happens a month later? Because we can see this starts in of 1st of September, the supply is going down, and about a month later, then we see an explosion in the Bitcoin price going up. So since this price went up, we have seen more and more Bitcoin being bought up and withdrawn from the exchanges. But at this point here, we see that it's still being bought up, but price is falling. So this is a very huge divergence um, between the price and the actual supply. And we all know the basic of demand and supply. If supply is going down, then price eventually will have to come back up. So why haven't we seen this huge explosion in price yet? It's probably because everyone expected Q4 of 2021 to be like the really parabolic um, explosion for Bitcoin. And as everyone expected that, everyone was buying here. Everyone was buying in September and then just sitting and waiting. But the price explosion, well, we did have a little bit of a price explosion here. But I think people were buying all the way through October, November, and then expecting December to be like the month where we really lifted up. But that haven't happened yet because in order for the price to explode, we need retail buyers to come in also to buy Bitcoin. But someone is taking the supply off the exchanges, and I think sooner or later, maybe early next year, we will see an absolute explosion to the upside. And now for the news that I wanted to tell you, which might sound a little bit crazy, but I do believe that the US government is going to step in and either buy Bitcoin or get involved somehow because of USD stable coins. Let me just play this little clip for you from the US congressional hearing on cryptocurrency and stable coins.
As digital assets become more common in the global marketplace, with the total digital asset market reaching almost $3 trillion, as Ranking Member McHenry just said, how do we ensure the U.S. dollar remains the reserve currency?
Well, Mr. Lukemeyer, it's terrific to see you again, and I'd give you a couple of thoughts on that important question. One is, if we start with stable coins before we talk about other crypto assets, I've said for a long time that the secular reduction in dollar holdings as a percentage of global central bank holdings is alarming. And this has been going on for more than 10 years at this point. So dollars as a share of the European Central Bank, the Japanese Central Bank, et cetera, has shrunk from 80+% to more like 60+% in a short amount of time. What that tells me is that in the future, with the rise of China and other major economies, the US dollar can't take its primacy for granted, and we need to start thinking about competing on utility, on features, not just based on a post-World War II monetary system that we could take for granted for the last 2 generations. And that's one of the reasons that I've been such a supporter of internet-enabled dollars, which allow us to compete on features, not only on history. I think that's really critically important. The second thing I would tell you is, as we enter year 11 or 12 of a highly inflationary environment, after all, we've been printing enormous numbers of new dollars since the financial crisis, there will come a time, gradually then suddenly, when the attractiveness of the dollar relative to other currencies could change. One of the benefits of the crypto economy is that it creates some counter incentives on the part of the Fed to do that kind of policy, because people will flee to other kinds of assets. And that sort of market competition is something that I think will ultimately shore up our monetary policy and keep the dollar where it rightfully ought to be.
So let me try to do what I do best, and that is to explain complicated stuff in simple terms. So what's really going on here is that you have these stable coins like USDT and USD coin, which is backed up dollar for dollar by real American dollars. So when you buy Tether, Tether needs to have a dollar for every dollar you own of Tether secured in the bank or through some other US securities. So what this means is that um, people around the world is holding dollars, and that is beneficial to the United States of America. Because what we've been seeing lately is that China and the Saudis have been buying less and less United States debt, which creates a surplus of dollar, which then weaken the dollar as a global reserve currency. So right now, people around the world is holding over 120 billion US dollar just in Tether and USD coin. And there is a lot of other stable coins as well. I do not know exactly the market cap of this, but it's probably around 200 million US dollars. After a little bit of a fact check, I see that the market cap is more around $160 billion. But what is going on is that this is increasing with the growth of crypto. And we know that just about 2%, 3% of the people in the world is in the crypto market now. And this will continue to grow. And its importance to the United States economy is also going to continue to grow. You all probably very familiar or at least heard of the petrodollar. This is the old system where the United States secured the peace and the trade in the world, and oil is uh, sold in US dollars. This is really what is needed for the world to go around and for the United States to be the reserve world currency is because everyone need dollar because everyone need oil. But now that we are sort of partly slowly moving away from oil, it's not guaranteed that the United States dollar will continue to be the world reserve currency. But crypto might save the United States because as long as these stable coins are the most secure, so let's say the Fed come up with their own stable coin which you can trust 100% because there is always some sort of chance that either Tether or USD coin or some of these guys are not that trustworthy because they are private companies. But if the United States government come out with their own stable coin, people will be more trusting of this stable coin than the current stable coins, and it will ensure that people around the world still continue to huddle the dollar and to use the dollar, and that banks and everyone involved in crypto need to hold US dollars. So that is why I believe that the United States is going to come in as a state and to start to secure the Bitcoin network with either through allowing companies to do it or maybe even get the army involved to secure the network. You have the US Space Force. There is a lot of people there, generals and high-ranking officers that are really into crypto, and they do not care about the money involved. They see it as a part of a global strategy to secure the well-being of the United States citizens. Of course, this is all in the future, but I think this congressional hearing and what we're hearing this here is kind of implementing these things to happen in the future. What's important now is to follow the supply on exchanges, and that is why you should be subscribed to this channel because now I will try as often as I can to give you an update to see if this keep going down and that when we will see an explosion to the price. Also, remember to subscribe and like the channel to help spread the message. and also hit the bell notification. And tomorrow, I promise you, I will show you how you can make $50 a day. For the people who are interested in that, just playing a game, no investment, nothing required. Just a little bit of time. It will take you about a week to get started, and then you can start earning some Matic, roughly $50 a day if you play all day. Keep that in mind. If you take it slow and go a little bit easy, then I would say about $10 to $15 a day, but that could still be a good side income, at least if you're a student or if you're young. That will probably explode and 10x, 100x in the future. So you might be able to gain some capital here, which will make you very rich in the long term. So until next time, I'll wish you all a very nice day, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.